just going to have to let it.
We're live. Da-da-da-da-dee.
Hey, can you see us?
We did it. Oh my goodness.
All right, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for showing up.
You got it? Oh my goodness.
I don't know how to do
I told you to turn the sound off your
I
laptop.
don't know how to turn it off.
This is ridiculous. Oh my goodness. It's just echoing forever. Oh my goodness. It's just echoing forever. Hold on, everybody. I need to put on full suit to go help Gary.
We're done. Okay.
With his technology.
All right. Thank you for being patient. We are back. This is our first live midweek update and announcements for First United Methodist Church. I'm Gary Heaton, lead pastor. This is Phil Woodson, the associate pastor in charge of communication and technology.
Which was working great until Gary started touching stuff. Can everybody hear us? I guess is my question. I see all the little bars moving, everything else working out great. Yes, and my wife is texting me. The phone is how Gary and I are keeping up with the chat. I can't read the chat on the computer. So to answer any questions that show up in the chat, you'll see me looking at my phone. You also see Gary turning to his computer. This is a whole new format for us. There's comment sections for questions. We're going to talk about worship stuff, pastoral partnership, stuff that was in the weekly announcements. And you'll see that Gary and I are set up safely with wipes all the way up here. We have this divider screen here between us. We both have masks, which will be the new normal when we come back to church. But this is just all new. So if you have any questions for us, we do want it to be interactive. So please use the chat feature on the right-hand side of your screen. And if you have questions later on, we'll start to get to those as well. But hopefully everyone got here through the weekly email or through the website or through our YouTube channel, and that all of these links will hold up.
And if you receive the weekly email, there's a lot of great information on the articles. Just scroll down on the weekly email to get in writing, or you can print it out, all the announcements that are in the weekly email. We want to let you know that the reason we're doing this online live is we're trying to experiment with new and effective ways to help one another stay connected to God and stay connected to each other. And this is a new medium in a new world and a new age of social distancing. So we appreciate your support and encouragement to try things that we may fail at or stumble at. But we're going to press on, and we are so grateful for your support and encouragement in these efforts. Oh, lastly, if you have ideas about how we might better help people stay connected to God and to one another in this new world of social distancing, please send us an email or a message with your ideas.
Masks and barriers. We are prepping for Friday when the governor's new order goes into effect for masks in all public places. We have a slew of people who have been making masks. If you are in need of a mask to go out in public, to go grocery shopping, to go to the doctor's, the quilters and other people within the church have been going out of their way to make some very beautiful and wonderful masks that are available right out in the church in the Welcome Center. If you need to slip in and grab one, please do so, because these are going to be mandatory around the state starting on Friday. A reminder that the church is not a public place. It is technically private property, but we are still going to be observing to the very best of our abilities all of these things that help keep people safe. And we're going to hopefully be showing that to you and modeling that to you. Our barrier here between Gary and I, you'll see us with masks on, cleaning supplies, all of those things, as well as we navigate this global pandemic together.
And we're going to be trying to do this in the best way we can. We want to do an award-winning live weekly update. And we expect that over time, this could grow into a medium that connects people not only with the church and with each other and with Phil and I, but with the wider community. We want to be an award-winning.
Oh my
yes,
goodness. Is that an Emmy on our first production?
And I want to thank my sponsors.
Oh, this is so unexpected. Let me see. Oh my goodness. I'd like to thank God, of course.
Of course.
My family, my lovely wife who's watching, 3 children at home. I'd like to give a shout out to coffee, caffeine for keeping me up late at night to do all of this hard work, Gary.
I want to just say that my wife made this mask. It's got a little bit of aluminum foil and then in the bridge on the nose so you can pinch it closer so your glasses don't fog up, as I'm starting to wear glasses more now.
You'll notice that we had a wonderful hair and makeup team for myself. Gary is working on getting people to help him out as well. But we hope to keep up the high quality standards of this award-winning content that you all have become accustomed to.
That's right. So I have a couple of announcements to share with the congregation about worship. Lots of questions, lots of comments. We had a wonderful worship committee meeting last week. All the folks who love the privilege that this church has to share worship with the world. First, I want to thank all the lay people who are participating in making worship happen. The greetings, the prayers, the reading of scripture, and all the behind the scene work that's gone into our worship services. We've been very blessed and frankly surprised by the number of likes and views that we get. This Sunday, I want to encourage you to watch our worship service. It's Pentecost Sunday, but we've got some surprise guests. Don Carlton, who is a previous pastor, will be giving part of the sermon. Al Horton, who is a previous pastor, will be giving part of the sermon. Harry Kennan, who is a previous pastor, will be giving part of the sermon. And Phil and I will be offering our contributions to a sermon that will be being brought by many different voices.
All this and more in a worship service that is going to still be less than 40 minutes.
That's right.
You can't beat it.
Lastly, I want to tell you, because people are all asking about reopening church and when we will have worship again. And there's so many conflicting and contradictory ideas and thoughts and pieces of information for that decision. There have been some United Methodist churches that are opening and experimenting with reopening that will then provide information for those of us as we begin to approach what it looks like to reopen. Here at First United Methodist Church, our intention is to continue online worship through July 5th. So on July 5th, worship will be online. After July 5th, we haven't decided yet. It's very likely that we will continue online until we have a very, very clear idea of what it will look like to reoccupy our worship space.
Your worship ministry team, your trustees, and your administrative council are all going to be working hard to make sure that when we do begin to gather back together, we will do so in the safest way possible. Was that your worship announcement?
That was my worship.
All right, good. So along with worship, the ministry of the church continues. The church building is closed, but the church gathered and working is still very much alive and involved in the community. The outreach ministry team is meeting tomorrow on Thursday, as a matter of fact. They're going to be talking about how we continue to meet the needs of this community and how do we continue to do good work and build up the kingdom of God here. They will also specifically be talking about the soup kitchen. What is needed to reopen the soup kitchen so it's not just the Haven working all day, every day. Cindy Remington, I see you in the chat. Is there anything else you want to add about that happening outreach meeting? It will be on Zoom, and Cindy's going to tell us what time in the chat right here in a minute as well. But get in contact with Cindy Remington if you would like to be involved in that outreach meeting tomorrow night.
Okay, now some of you are putting the pressure on us to get these announcements done in under 30 minutes. Now, Phil and I thrive under pressure. We thrive.
If we go up to 30 minutes, I'm leaving.
Right. Okay, are you done with the outreach announcement?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay, are you still over there?
Yes, I'm over here. 7 p.m., Cindy says.
All right, I'd like to talk a little bit about what's going on in our nurture ministry. Paige Limbaugh is the chair of our worship ministry team. And there's a couple of things that I want to point out that are coming up or that the congregation would be interested in. First of all, I want to remind you that we're having a vacation Bible school, an online vacation Bible school on July 27th. And so registration and volunteering is on the church website. So think about being involved in that as we try this new approach to vacation Bible school. Secondly, I'm going to be trying a weekly devotion. Many of you know I have a fondness for the river and for getting on a canoe on the river. I'll be doing a weekly devotion that will share a devotional called Canoeing the Mountains. And you'll be hearing more about that as I figure out the technology on how to share that type of blog or video devotion. I thought it'd be interesting for you to know that our preschool, the FUMC preschool, is planning to expand in the fall. That's right. We're not just hunkering down, but there's a great deal of excitement about adding a preschool or pre-kindergarten class, pre-first grade class. And we hope that you'll be in prayer for all those who are working very hard and hoping that our schools are able to open in some way. And lastly, I wanted to invite you to be a part of our congregational care ministry. There's a Zoom meeting every Monday morning. Carolyn McGee hosts that Zoom meeting. And this is for folks who want to stay connected in ways like writing cards, saying prayers, sending notes, finding creative ways to care for one another in our congregation. The ministry of nurture is one that is deeply, deeply needed today.
To connect with that congregational care meeting every Monday, please get in touch with Carolyn McGee to get in on that meeting. Just a couple last things with the Witness Ministry team before these announcements go too long. Witness Ministry is making sure that all of this online stuff is still working, that the weekly emails are going out, that our YouTube channel is up and running, that the website is still working. We almost had a crisis a few weeks ago, but it's fixed and no one knew. The Witness team is also going to be purchasing some banners to hang around the church, inviting people to join us online as well. And I wanted just to go back and hit a couple questions that I saw here. Frank, we did see your question. We are broadcasting to non-members. The link is on Facebook. It's on our website under weekly announcements. And everyone is encouraged to continue evangelizing and inviting people to join us at 1:30 next Wednesday. I see that we've got about 30 people watching right now.
That's great.
Let's boost it up to 100. Oh my goodness.
Yes, I'll do that.
No.
We want 1,000.
So as long as we do this YouTube live stuff, if we wanted to use it for worship, which would be super cool and hopefully not delayed by 10 minutes as we mess with it. In order to use a phone and stream from a mobile device, like outside in the street or in a park or in a mountain, wherever worship might be, we need 1,000 subscribers to our YouTube channel for YouTube to free up mobile devices for streaming. Otherwise, we are restricted to laptops and desktops for being able to stream live services. And so if you all would do us, if you all want to be engaged in this kind of evangelistic ministry, we need 1,000 subscribers to our YouTube channel. And that would be awesome.
And a subscriber is an email address. So if you have 1, 2, or 3 email addresses, that's 3 subscriptions. If you have 5 people in your house and each one has an email address, that's 5. You have uncles, cousins, friends, people who you work with. Ask people to subscribe to our YouTube
you don't
live
get
channel.
spam emails or anything else like that. It just changes the content you see when you first go to YouTube. So that way, if you subscribe to the church's channel, the next time you go to youtube.com, you'll see some of the church's videos as the first ones up there for your preferred content. That's really all the subscriptions are.
Beth just chatted in that we have 145 subscribers right now.
So we're almost 15% of the way there.
So
as it works out.
start subscribing.
So start subscribing. I don't see any other big questions on there.
Oh, the signs on the outside.
Yeah, I said that. Witness is going to purchase some banners and signs, and we'll put them out to invite people to join us online.
Okay. All right. And while we have some time and we want to engage with the chats and the questions, I wanted to say a few things about our announcement on Sunday, where we announced to the congregation that Phil and I are projected to be appointed to serve First United Methodist Church for another year after annual conference, beginning in July. But we are also appointed to serve the congregation at Wesley Memorial United Methodist Church, which is down on the university campus across from the Memorial Gym. And this is a very unusual appointment. It is not a merging of churches. It is not a yoking or putting two churches on a charge. We're referring to this as pastoral sharing, that Phil and I make up a pastoral team. And together we're going to pastor this congregation at First Church and the congregation at Wesley Memorial and the greater community of Charlottesville. This is, I believe, a deeply Wesleyan understanding of what pastoral ministry is all about, as well as pastoral leadership. There's more questions than answers about how this will work and what it will look like, and frankly, how you'll experience it as congregants. There has been a task force formed with 8 people, 4 from Wesley Memorial and 4 from First United Methodist Church. And they are the lay people, the leaders in our church, who are acting as liaison and communication between the churches. For First United Methodist, those 4 people are Vicki Sykes, Bill Clark, Cindy Remington, and we cheated a little here on the last one, and the Barker family. That'd be Caleb, Rachel, Susan, and Scott. All 4 of them are one person. So we kind of snuck in a few extra people with the Barker family. I am so grateful to these intrepid members of our church who are willing to take on a task for which there is no manual. This truly is an experiment. It is like all other appointments. It is 1 year. And as 2 congregations explore what it's like to share a pastoral ministry team in a common community, truly making the world our parish.
Likewise, Wesley Memorial has 4 of its members serving on this task force as well. And the task force has provided everyone with a preliminary summary of our understandings and conversations about how this pastoral sharing will work. That document is a link in the weekly email that was sent out yesterday. If you are not receiving our weekly emails yet, you can sign up at the very bottom of our website, cvillefirst.umc.org. There's a little subscription box for the weekly emails. And also just a reminder to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you can be notified when you go to YouTube of any live broadcasts of our worship series that comes out every Sunday. What else, Gary?
Well, I do want to let people know that if you're sending Frank McMullen a message, he wants to remind you that his name is Frank, not Frankly. So apparently when you all are talking to Frank, you start by saying, Frankly. I don't even know what you're saying to him, but he would like you to call him Frank.
I'll give a few seconds here. Does anybody have any initial questions that Gary and I might answer?
Yeah, let's try this.
Right now about this pastoral sharing arrangement with Wesley
and make
Memorial.
them soft questions. I mean, a real underhand throw here. Anybody?
Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up here.
How about somebody asked, when does this start? That's a good starting question. What's the first Sunday of 2 congregations? Somebody asked that. Can someone please give Gary a haircut? Oh my gosh, that's really great. All right, somebody asked us.
He needs his own makeup team.
When does it start? Cindy asked. Thanks for asking, Cindy.
She didn't ask that. She said,
when does it start?
That just came up. She said, will you ask for help when you need it?
Oh,
Gary.
I'm really good at asking for help. Just ask Beth. But she did ask, it starts the first Sunday of new appointments in the Virginia Annual Conference is July 5th. So on July 5th, there will be 2 worship services that are sent out, one from Wesley Memorial, pre-recorded, and one from First United Methodist Church, pre-recorded.
Back to Cindy's first question. Yes. And I did. I've already begun to ask for that kind of help for people who will edit short video segments. We're no longer have to edit our weekly announcements since we're going to start doing them live every Wednesday. But we do need some help in editing the shorter segments for worship on Sunday morning. So if that's something you can help with and are willing to help with, please send me an email at media@sevillefirst.umc.org. Gary, we're hit 20 minutes.
All right, we're at the end of 20 minutes. If you have not read the weekly announcements, I think it'd be a good practice to read the announcements prior to watching the online announcements, because they will answer a lot of questions before you have to ask them. So I would love to give one more opportunity. If you've read the weekly announcement, the weekly email that goes out, and you have a question that is not answered by that, go ahead and type it in there, and we'll see. We'll see if we can answer it. What's the YouTube subscription information?
So when you go back to the YouTube, just your general page, and you come to our church's channel, you can search Seville First UMC, and you'll see our logo pop up with the steeple and the white background. Once you are on our channel page, there should be a little red button that says subscribe. And if you click it, that's all it is, to subscribe.
All right, we had a great question. Could we have a joint church prayer team praying for each congregation, Wesley Memorial and First United Methodist Church? And I'm going to make an executive decision right here and right now and say, yes, you can start praying right now for the congregation at Wesley Memorial United Methodist Church and for our congregation as we enter into this year-long experiment of pastor sharing.
Well, Gary, I think that's it.
Okay.
Feel good?
I'm so encouraged that we had 31 people watch this. Thank you to my friends that I paid $10 a piece to sign up. I appreciate that. Barry, Ted, yep, thanks.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. But we'll do anything. Shameless self-promotion.
I'll take this home.
Okay, yeah.
I'll take this home with me.
Well, I appreciate everybody. We love you all, and we look forward to hearing from you.
I'm going to end it. Okay, bye.